When former U.S. President Barack Obama sent a private congratulatory message to Burkina Faso's young leader, Ibrahim Traoré, no one expected what would happen next. The response sent shockwaves across the world and revealed a truth about leadership that left millions speechless. Burkina Faso, a landlocked nation in West Africa, rich in gold, yet drowning in poverty. For decades, its people have endured the crushing weight of political corruption, foreign exploitation, and the relentless terror of armed insurgents. Villages burn, children go hungry. Promises of democracy fade like mirages in the Sahel heat. The world watches, but few intervene. To many, Burkina Faso is just another headline, another forgotten crisis in a continent the West has long ignored. Then, in 2022, a shift. A young military officer, Ibrahim Traoré, just 34 years old, steps forward. He is not the polished politician the world expects. He wears no tailored suits, delivers no rehearsed speeches. Instead, he stands before his people in military fatigues, his voice raw with conviction. "Enough," he says. "Enough of the lies, enough of the theft. If our leaders will not fight for us, then we will fight for ourselves." The crowds roar. The old guard trembles. Traoré's rise is swift a revolution without the usual bloodshed. He seizes power, not for wealth, not for glory, but with a vow. This time, Burkina Faso will belong to Burkinabés. The world reacts with skepticism. Another African coup? The headlines sigh. Western analysts dismiss him. Idealistic, naive. He won't last. But in the dusty streets of Ouagadougou, hope flickers for the first time in years. Farmers, miners, mothers who've buried children lost to war dare to believe. In a quiet office in Washington, D.C., a man who once carried the hopes of millions watches the news unfold. Barack Obama, the first black president of the United States, knows what it means to defy expectations. He remembers his own early days, the doubters, the weight of history on his shoulders. Something about Traoré's story strikes him. Maybe it's the defiance. Maybe it's the unshaken belief that change is possible, even when the odds seem impossible. Or maybe it's the quiet guilt Obama himself carries, knowing that for all his speeches about justice, the systems he once led still profit from the suffering of places like Burkina Faso. He sits at his desk, pen in hand. This is unusual for him. Presidents, current or former, don't often send personal messages to new, untested leaders. But something compels him. He writes, Ibrahim Traoré, "History is shaped by those who dare to challenge the status quo. Your courage in the face of immense adversity is commendable. While the road ahead is difficult, I hope you will lead with the same integrity that has inspired your people. The world is watching, and some of us are rooting for you." A simple note, a gesture. But when it arrives in Ouagadougou, it carries the weight of a symbol. Obama, the global icon of hope, has acknowledged Traoré. The young captain reads it. His advisors wait for his reaction. A smile? Gratitude? A chance to leverage this moment for international legitimacy? But Traoré's face darkens. Because he knows the truth. Praise from powerful men does not feed starving children. It does not return stolen resources. And it does not erase decades of betrayal. He folds the letter and makes a decision that will shock the world. The letter from Barack Obama arrives in an unmarked envelope, delivered by a diplomatic courier. Traoré's aides urge caution. This could be our chance to gain Western support, but he silences them with a raised hand. He reads the words once, twice, then makes his decision. That evening, Burkina Faso's national broadcast cuts to a live address. Traoré stands before the cameras, Obama's letter in his grip. The nation holds its breath as he reads it aloud, his voice steady. Then a pause. The air thickens. His jaw tightens as he looks straight into the lens. "Mr. Obama," he begins, "thank you for your words. But Africa does not need congratulations. We need justice." A stunned silence grips the studio. Then, like a dam breaking, Traoré unleashes decades of fury. "Our gold fuels your economies while our children starve. Your drones patrol our skies, yet terrorists still slaughter us. You call our leaders corrupt, but who armed them? Who overthrew Sankara? The clip goes viral within minutes. Twitter splits. Who does he think he is versus, finally, someone says it. Western pundits scramble to react, but across Africa, streets erupt in cheers. In Nairobi, Dakar, Lagos, young people repost his words with one hashtag, Traoré speaks for us. Obama's team is already drafting a response. But Traoré isn't waiting. He's just getting started. The world watches as Barack Obama's response flashes across news tickers. I hear Traoré's concerns. Dialogue, not division, moves us forward. Reynolds stood with his arms crossed. His $5 suit, straining slightly at the shoulders as he puffed out his chest. His smirk widened when he saw the reaction he'd caused. This was his element, humiliating people in front of powerful audiences. He'd done it to senators, to CEOs, even to other billionaires. Why should some African leader be any different? You call this leadership? Reynolds continued, gesturing theatrically. Your people are starving while you fly around the world making speeches. Maybe if you spent less time complaining about colonialism and more time building factories. A gasp rippled through the crowd. Even his own associates shifted uncomfortably. This wasn't just rude, it was deliberately provocative. The moderator half rose from his seat, unsure whether to intervene. Then came the moment that would be replayed millions of times online. Ibrahim Traoré slowly removed his glasses, folded them deliberately, and placed them on the podium. The simple act commanded complete attention. When he looked up, his expression wasn't angry. It was almost amused. You're right, Mr. Reynolds, Traoré said, his voice so calm it cut through the tension like a knife. Hard work does matter. He paused, letting the words sink in. So tell me, when your company took $2.1 billion worth of gold from Burkina Faso last year, how many hours did you personally spend in those mines? The room erupted in murmurs. Reynolds blinked, his smirk faltering for the first time. Traoré continued, his tone conversational but each word precise. When your subsidiaries paid workers 80 cents a day, was that your definition of a fair wage? When your security forces opened fire on protesters in Bissa, assign SA-, those orders yourself? A reporter in the front row dropped her notebook. Someone in the audience whispered, "Oh, damn," loud enough to be picked up by microphones. Reynolds' face darkened as he realized this wasn't going how he'd planned. Now wait just a minute, Reynolds started. But Traoré raised a single finger, not aggressively, but with the quiet authority of a man who'd faced real bullets and wasn't intimidated by words. No, Mr. Reynolds, you wanted this conversation. Let's have it properly. Traoré turned to face the audience fully. This man's entire fortune comes from extracting our resources while leaving our people in poverty. Today, he has the audacity to lecture me about hard work? The energy in the room shifted palpably. Where before there had been nervous tension, now there was something else. A dawning realization among the audience that they were witnessing something extraordinary. A young African leader wasn't just clapping back at a bully, end quote, systematically dismantling decades of colonial arrogance in real time. Reynolds opened his mouth to respond, but Traoré wasn't finished. With deliberate calm, he reached into his jacket pocket and pulled out a small flash drive. I came prepared today. Shall we examine exactly how Mr. Reynolds built his empire? The moment stretched like a rubber band about to snap. Reynolds' face twisted in arrogant defiance as he spat out his response. I built my empire from nothing. Every dollar I made came from blood, sweat, and American ingenuity. His voice echoed through the suddenly silent hall, the words ringing hollow against the weight of what was coming. Traoré didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. With the calm precision of a surgeon making the first incision, he simply nodded and said, Really? Then you won't mind if we show the world the real story behind your empire. A staff member handed Traoré a small remote. The click of the button echoed like a gunshot in the tense silence. The massive LED screen behind Traoré flickered to life, displaying a meticulously organized dossier. The first image. A satellite photo of a sprawling mine in Burkina Faso. Its tailings ponds glowing, toxic green even from space.